is a really bad idea.
We're currently in weekend number 2 working on Mom and Love's DIY kitchen makeover. We wanted to finish up last week, but I wanted to do it well and properly, so I took my time to figure out how to do things and to make sure that all our little holes and nooks and crannies and crevices are filled, and I'm glad that I did that. So now this weekend we want to start spraying the cabinet doors. Opening my spray gun this morning, and it was a cheapie. I think I paid $999 for it at Build It 2 years ago maybe. This is my old one. Let me just show you. So I really did a number on this guy. Shame. I mean, even the fittings can't come clean anymore. I think I took too long to clean it after I used this white paint in it, and then it started hardening, which is a really bad thing. It's just going to be a mission to clean this. It's a little bit done. So I decided to get in my car, drive to Bright and buy a new one. Because I'm at this point where there's so much going on, I don't want to be struggling, and it's really not a big expense. I know that I'm going to be using this thing very often in the future. I found the exact same one that I had. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one. It's this one for 1,200 Rand. So in 2 years it only went up with 199 Rand. So I just wanted to make it easier for myself to do this, because it's really hot and I'm really excited to get this done. And I want to get the doors back on for her, because it just feels very untidy and messy and cluttered when you walk into her space with all the cabinet doors off. So I want to fix that for her as soon as possible. It's going to be a full day. I need to go lay out my drop sheets on the grass. I'm going to use bricks under the doors. So I'm going to put bricks under the drop sheet and then put the cabinet door on the brick, if that makes sense. Because that's just going to lift it a little bit. I don't want it to be lying flat on the ground when I'm spraying, because the moment I lift it up, paint might pull off, or I don't want that. So I need to elevate it a little bit, and I don't want to put it directly onto the brick, because the brick can damage the door. So I'm just going to put the brick under the top, under the drop sheet. Then I'll see how many doors I can fit on my drop sheets. Hopefully I can fit all of them and just prime all of them. And I really need to keep track of the numbers on these doors, especially when I'm doing the top coat, because the bottom cabinets and the top cabinets have different colors. So I need to really focus today. Oh, and I got myself some gloves. I never wear gloves when I work, ever. But I thought, hey, let's just try the glove thing for a change. It might just help with cleanup afterwards. So what I learned so far from using the spray paint gun, the first 3 doors that I did, my quantity, so there's a little black nozzle that you can turn, which allows more paint to come out or less paint to come out. So that nozzle of mine was completely open, so there was way too much paint coming out, which makes it very difficult to control. I tried to take it all the way to the minus, but that's not what I needed either because it was too little. So I got it like kind of in the middle, and that gave me quite a nice consistency. And then I could go at least 10 centimeters from the doors when I spray, which gives me a lot of control. There's not as much paint going all over the place. What I've also learned is to spray with continuous movement instead of just focusing on one corner. And then thirdly, there's an option of having a focused spray or a more wide spray. So I put it on the focused spray when I do the edges of the doors, just because it's a very small area that needs to be covered. And when I do the flat side of the doors, I put it on the wider spray. So I cover a larger piece of the door while I'm spraying. We've done one coat of primer. I'm going to go in with a second coat of primer, and then we'll see what the coverage looks like. Then I'll just need to figure out which doors need to be the lighter color and which doors need to be the darker color. I must say, I had a moment a few minutes ago where I really felt like, what on earth did I get myself into? I was debating just leaving all of it here on the grass and calling someone to do this for me. I think this week was just very difficult, having so many different things happening and being pulled on all ends. I really wanted to give up. We are on a budget, so we're saving money, and I really want to try and do this myself so that I can share as much as I can with you guys so you can try it as well. I would definitely consider, if you are doing this DIY, that you would start with a small cabinet. Maybe just do your clothing cabinet and get the hang of it, get the feel of it, and once you're more confident, gradually increase the size of your project. I took on a lot at once, and I don't know if that was very smart because I still have a lot to do. I don't even want to go there because I'm getting overwhelmed, so I just want to focus on this one thing, get this done, and then we'll go ahead and think of the next step. I'm about to start doing the top coats on the back of the cabinet doors, and I've been through quite a few emotions today. Like, why on earth did I do this? Why did I start this? I almost decided to call someone and pay them to do this. When I started this project, I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of go in me, and I wanted to do this and get it done, and then suddenly a week later I'm like, no. We're still busy and it's so hot and my back is sore because I'm constantly bending over because I don't have a workbench big enough, and it's just a lot of things, hey? But so far so good. Thankfully I haven't given up yet. It's the one thing that DIY has taught me since I started doing DIY in 2022, I think. It taught me to stick it out, to stay with it, to stick it out, to endure, to persevere, and to push through, because every time at the end I'm happy and satisfied. I'm so glad that I went through with it and I saw it through. I can be honest with you, I'm not enjoying it, but I am holding on to the joy that will come once it's done. but I'm still trying to be in the moment and trying to do my best job. It's crazy what DIY teaches you if you let it. I mean, you can give up or you can let it teach you. Okay, enough of that. Let's get painting. Lyk al klaar soveel beter dat daar geel weg is, né? So dan kyk daar bo jou kop is geel. It's the end of our Saturday. I have managed to get 2 coats of primer on all the doors. I managed to get one top coat on the back of the doors, and they are still wet. It's almost 7 o'clock. I can't carry them in because if I'm going to touch them, we're going to have marks. If I touch them, they're going to have marks. So Mom and Love and I decided to leave them outside until tomorrow. There's no rain, there's only wind, so I think we'll be fine. And then tomorrow I can just continue instead of packing everything away and packing it out again tomorrow. So this is where we're at currently. These are the top cabinets and those are the bottom cabinets. And I painted the grass as well, but thankfully we can just cut the grass and that'll be gone. So they're going to sleep outside. This is a really bad idea. And deep down I knew it would be, but I didn't have any strength in me. So now I'm reaping the consequences of my actions, and it's fine. I will be disciplined and sort this out. So the paint came off where it was still wet last night. That's the coat it should be. This is the primer and that's the cabinet color. So I'm just going over these spaces where the paint was wiped off this morning, just to smooth it out a bit so you don't see those marks after I've painted. So, consequences of our actions. Isn't this another fun lesson? If you want to do things half, you're sitting with the consequences. just put all the brackets back onto the cupboards, and then once that's in, we'll need to clean out the cabinets and then bring in the doors, attach them, and then go buy and install the hardware, which will probably happen end of next week. Let me get to work.
Gaan rijden, met de burger heen.
Nee, dankie.
Waar is die beenverzetel?
Hoor.
Ja, help my. Waarom vat jy en haal jy altyd 'n remote uit die kar uit?
Wat is 'n ongeluk omdat iemand by die hek was en dit was die naaste remote wat ek vat.
Dis silly. Dit lyk super goed.
Hoekom wat? Sê eens nie, kom maar nou.
Ek kan sê dit is wel daar.
Los aan die uitsit vir nou.
Jy sukkel nou met die vrou. Wat nie, stabiel is nie.
My kinders al.
Ek is 'n vrek styf. Wat dan nou? Wat is
Dit is wat huisbouer wil doen, nie? Renovations.
Ons bou nie huisie maar, ons DIY net. Colin bou die huis.
Wat is basgres?
Sjoekie, so het hy losgetrek van die water. Ag, pragtig man.
Nou kan jy vir hulle vertel wat hulle doen as dit nou gebeur.
Jy doen dit hoor. Dit is al oplossing wat jy het. Jy do it again. Wat is dit?
Ek laat dit kyk hoe mooi gaan dit saam lief. Oh my word, dan moet jy skop dit like so mooi.
En dan. Oh, dat is stupid geweest. Okay?
Last call as jy lus vir iets.
Ja.
Langs en cheese.
Ja.
Okay, sien.
Appelpeer.
Ja.
Crazy.
Maar
Is jy 22?
my,
En hoe die stiekers die mekaar geraak het.
hè?
Dis definitief 22 nie. Ag, dit nog 2 is.
Dis seker dit dan. Wat is dan
Nee,
hierdie?
dit het mekaar geraak. Dit is
Kan jy nie wil dit glo?
As sien 2 en 22 is aangeraak gewees.
Oh my soul. Dit kan natuurlijk echt wees.
Dit kan enige van ons gewees. Hier. As hy wit geverf, ja.
Oh, daai sal.
Maar so geverf. Dit moet die deel is het doorgaan. Dis wat my brein vir my sê. En so. Nee, wag. Kan nie wees nie. Regtig nou. Is dit nou 'n joke? Gee op.
Dis van die plek lyk afgerond, dit lyk soos 'n
Ja.
fancy.
Kom maar nou net die naby kyk jy net.
Naby na wat?
Nou, al die chips en goed.
Ja man, brandstelsel het gekom as gevolg van die feit dat jy dit buite gelos het.
Korrek, ja.
Ja, maar
Want MDF is baie finicky. Hy's glad nie water
Ek kan
erg
nie
nie.
glo en jy sien dit as jy soos
ja.
ag nee.
Ag nee, julle.
Wat het nou gebeur?
Die bracket is al weer verkeerd op. Ek het net gou 'n lig aan iemand.
Dis load shedding.
Jy het 'n flash op jou foon.
My foon is bo.
Okay, wag. Ek weet waar my foon is. Kom my lig brand.
Ek is bly jy kom. Oh!
Mooi baby.
Laat ek net op my bene kom.
Dis
Okay.
hoor julle, ek dink dis tyd dat ons naweek afsluit en net bed toe gaan. Over en freaking out.
Eskom is verskriklik ons
Is hierdie brek nou verkeerd omgesit?
Ja, maar ek het hom net ook gedoen, dis hy ook verkeerd, so ek verstaan nie wat aangaan nie.
Ja, ons gaan ons thee maak. O, jy dan kan, ja, ons kan.
Oei, dit is nog waar.
I'm back at it with Mom and Love's DIY kitchen makeover. Feeling a little bit fluish this week. I'm trying to take care of myself while I'm doing this, but I'm excited that I have today and tomorrow to get with the cabinets as fast as possible. I've already cut out all the swollen panels. I've reattached the panels. I have done wood filler with the help of Henry. And I've already sanded all of them down with an 80 grit sandpaper. Here and there, I'm a little bit concerned on the cutouts that I did that you might be able to see the line. But I'm gonna just do my best right now. At the moment, I'm just heading down to do 120 grit sandpaper on all the doors, front and back. I just want to smooth things out a little bit. They've been quite tossed around with me removing the panels last week. And then once that's done, I need to wash down the doors once they dry, silicone, and then once that's dry, I'm gonna paint. So I'm feeling quite positive about it at the moment. So here are all the doors patched and sanded. I mean, they're looking rough right now, but it feels really good. So I'm starting to put all the doors back. And before I can put the drawer fronts back, I have to put the handles on and then attach them to the drawers. I found this nifty drilling guide from Gelmar. I don't know if you can see, that actually gives you where the holes need to go for the size of your handles. We have these handles that we bought from Handles Inc. And if I match it up like that, I'll see where the holes are for this handle. So we currently have existing holes on the drawer fronts. It's off with about 1.5 millimeters. So I'm going to use this guide to mark out which hole is correct, and then I'll just draw a little dot for where I need to drill the new hole for the other side of the handle. I know handles are quite tricky to put on, so I'm going to take my time and see if I can do this right, because I'm at the point where I don't want to fill holes again and paint and sand. I'm over it right now. So let's see how this goes. So in order to get the sizing of the hole right when you're drilling the holes for the handles, you just take your screw and you hold it over the drill bit, and you'll see that that will fit. So these holes are a little bit smaller than I need, so I'm just going to drill them again with this size, and then they should go right through. We have a little bit of a challenge. When we screw in these from the back on the drawer fronts, they stand out because they're not sunken into the door, which means that if I put them on to the drawers, this piece is going to stand out that much. So I need to try and find something that helps me drill a hole big enough for this head to be sunken into this piece of wood. So I'm going to try this on the chipboard and see if that's actually going to help. So what I've noticed is now that we're doing these sunken holes for the screw to sit flush to the drawer, it makes the screws longer, and then the screws that we got with the handles were a bit too long because now they're going into the handle a few mils more. So they were too long, and then I couldn't get the handles flush to the drawer front, so I had to use screws that were a little bit shorter. That gives me that distance, so now this goes all the way into the handle where that one stuck out a little bit. So small things like that that you don't think of, but I thought of it for you now. So over here you can see that's where, on that blue line is where the screws are going to go in, which means the handle will be sitting like this on the cabinet. So I'm using that line just under 140 to be the guide for this panel over here. So that's going to be the bottom part, and that's going to be the way the hole is going to come. So I can ensure that my entire handle is above this line. So I'm just gonna make sure that the center line that I drew there is center where the holes are gonna go. And then I'm putting that line between 140 and 130 on my boundary. I'm centering my holes over the center of the line that I drew, and it's those 2 holes that we're using. Making sure that's where it's going to sit. Three weekends of incredibly hard work and a lot of fails and picking myself up off the floor and encouraging myself and having breakdowns and McDonald's burgers. I think we're done. I mean, we're 90% there because there's just one area that had a fixed panel that needs to be converted into a door. So I am not sure if I'm gonna tackle that myself or just get my kitchen guy to do it, a good vessel to do it. I'll see what I'm up for. If he can just do the actual cuttings, then I'll frame and paint them. But I think we're done, guys. I've patched up at the doors on the inside. I kind of felt like I could see a lot better when after the doors were back on, to see where patch-ups were needed, because now I can actually see what's visible to the eye. So I've done that. We're waiting for it to dry, and then we'll clean up everything. Then I'll do a proper after for you now that everything is done in the kitchen. Well, cabinet wise, we still need to do the paneling on the walls, but at least one task is completed.